Equality in sports. Now I will talk about why equality is such a big problem in sports, why there shouldn't be a divide between children in sports based on talent, and why is there such a big difference between men and women's earning in sports. Why shouldn't children be divided into teams based on their skills in their sports? Society expectations today attached to youth sports is screwing up the training process. Young minds and bodies are being turned away at an early age before their full potential and skills are fully developed. This results in late blooming talents losing interest according to GetSportyQ. Statistics from GetSportyQ shows us that in the United States, each year about 20 million children register for baseball, soccer, football, hockey, and other competitive sports. Statistics also show that about 70% of that 20 million will quit by the young age of 13. In my opinion, the divide between kids in sports starts way too early. All kids should be given equal opportunities and be equally prioritized. Sports are such a big part of kids' social life too. Therefore, I think those with talent who eventually wants to practice sports professionally should get the opportunity, but later, and without overshadowing the rest. Is it a problem that coaches favor players? Almost always the ones that are the best. Some are more talented than others from early on. Those who are not get undervalued. From experience, being under-prioritized by your coach at least made me totally unmotivated. It feels like nobody believes in you, making it harder to believe in yourself. Dividing team based on their skills makes it even harder to get better. Diversity makes it possible for the players to learn from each other. Getting better is hard when not everybody is given the same opportunities. Looking at it from a different perspective, the athletes who are good probably like it better this way. Pressure to do well and expectations within sports for so many children and youth. Why is there so much pressure? Isn't sports for children supposed to be fun and including for everyone? By favoriting, you also put a huge pressure on kids. There become so many expectations for doing well. Sports are very much social. 69% girls and 75% boys participate in some type of organized sports in the United States, according to SportsRec. Facts are that not everyone has a talent for sports. Still, there are so many other positive sides to sports. Through sports, kids stay active, get a bigger social network, and distribute their free time. This is something we should encourage by all costs. By putting all focus in being the best, it will turn into something negative. When all the focus is put on how well they perform, it will take the focus of what's really important, having fun. When performing deficiently, they will get the feeling of failure. It's normal to not always be the best. Losing is part of sports. Why are boys often prioritized over girls within sports clubs? Should we have different expectations for boys and girls in sports? Are both genders equally capable to do as well as each other? Boys and girls are different. Both genders are not the same. Still, we can expect the same from both. Most sports athletes have such a hard drive and will to do well when it comes to their passion, sport. This regardless of their gender. But if so, you may wonder why women and men don't play together. Until puberty, there are very few, if any, differences between boys and girls. At puberty, when testosterone production in boys increases heavily, it results in a large increase in size and a greater amount of total muscle mass. Boys generally are bigger and stronger, so even though women can be just as good, they can't compete in size. To level the playing field, we therefore separate girls and boys in sports. The last 30 years, women's opportunity has increased heavily. Still, women continues to lag far behind. The number of professional opportunities as well as female participants has increased. Statistics show that sports are clearly dominated by men. If we want women's sports popularity to increase, we need to get it bigger. More players and a bigger audience. We need to encourage young girls to do sports. And to be honest, I don't think they do a great job treating boys and girls the same. At least not here in Oscar. The boys from an early age have more days of practice, while my team always had one of the parents train us. The boys had paid professional ones. In 7th grade, the boys team was offered to go on a training camp in Spain, while the girls never got the same opportunity. This gets us thinking that sports are for boys. This is not equality, and I think it's unfair. Why is there such a big divide between earnings of men and women in sports? Why don't women and men athletes have the same income? A common problem in most professions is that both genders do not earn the same. In sports, it's the same. One of my friends loves playing football, and she's really good at it too. I asked her if she wanted to work with it professionally when she grew up. She said it was her dream, but she wouldn't be able to do it for a living anyways. Even though she is so good, the chances of her earning good enough to not need a second job or a completely another job are very low. Meanwhile, some of the richest men in the world are male footballers. They do not only live of playing football, but it is earning them a fortune too. Why is this? In this case, I don't think it's a problem that depends on a lack of equality, but rather that males bring more money in this profession. People rather watch male football. People pay more to watch. Therefore, the athletes get paid better too. These are my sources. Get Sporty Q, Sports Rec, Better Health, AA CAP, Navakoljico Foundation, New Times, Major Colonic.